Welcome to day 3 of the Global Vision Quest. I am your guide, Laura Hollick. We have been on quite the adventure, so many things opening up and having these visions of certain things. I'm like, what does that mean? And the pearl came in and this came in, all kinds of stuff. So exciting. So excited to connect with you. Let me know, where are you in the world? I see UK, France, North Carolina. Let us know where you are. This is a global vision quest, right? Like, we're all over the world. The beauty of this time with the power of technology, we can connect in these beautiful, profound experiences and really be sitting in our homes or in our studios all over the globe. So I welcome you wherever you are. Take a moment to honor the land on the earth where you are, if that has any special significance for you, or if you know anything of the heritage of the land where you are. Just take a moment and honor and appreciate the space that is supporting you as you go on your quest to discover who you are and create your life, being yourself and thriving. And our guided visualization today, this is our second guided visualization. We will be exploring illuminating. So to illuminate your thriving path. Yes, yes. I see Oregon, Ohio, New Mexico, Canada, Netherlands, Denmark, Switzerland. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited that you are here. And if you notice this, I'm sure you saw this, but the face here on the cover of the Global Vision Quest journal, and we use this image. This is actually me who did this photo shoot, but that's the world right there, you know. And it's like, really, in many ways, we have a whole world within us, and there's a world outside of us. And I feel a lot of the journey that we're on is allowing ourselves to know what is in our inner world and finding ways to bring our inner world into this world. So it's like we can live our soul on earth. We can live our essence. We can express and embody our essence on earth, right? I know for myself, initially, there was so much journeying within, and it continues to this day. That is one of my great practices, my great loves. It's a divine love affair to have a relationship deep within. And that really is the base and the foundation for our ability to express ourselves out in the world, connect in ways that are meaningful to us. So in our visualization today, this is where you're going to be getting a vision. Now, sometimes that comes in an actual, like, movie style picture, but a vision is like, it's an energetic concept in a way. It's like a sense. Maybe you hear it, maybe you feel it, maybe you see it. I actually see things. I hear things too. And sometimes it's words. However it is for you, your vision for your next steps, right? Your thriving path. So I want to do just a little bit of a recap on where we've been, where we are, and then we can dive in. And also a couple of things that are coming as well. I just want to get that lay of the land. Give yourself a chance to land, settle in, have your journal ready, right? So you can take your notes. I was going through my own notes this morning. I had a whole bunch of scribbles from all the panels yesterday. There were just so many. It's like sparks in a treasure chest of all kinds of gems coming through with that. So our first day of the Global Vision Quest, we went into a guided visualization to discover your iconic essence. Now, your iconic essence, people could do their PhD on their iconic essence. It's not just a one-off, it's like, it's something that is very deep and many layers to it, okay? But we went for a connection, discovering an aspect of it. And your iconic essence is your soul's fingerprint. It's the essence of your soul, right? And the iconic aspect of it, of course, you are unique. What your soul is and what you are here to express, who you are here to be, that is going to be unique. It becomes iconic when you actually cultivate your uniqueness. You actually polish that crystal of you, and it starts to sparkle with that magnetism that comes from your origin, that comes from a place that it's beyond. It can't be manufactured. It's like you resource yourself, you get resourced, and that energy can come through you, that uniqueness, that soul fingerprint that is only yours. There's no competition in it because it's only yours. It's like it's that diamond in the rough, and you get to, polish it up, sparkle it up. And so the journey of the iconic essence is first making a connection, sensing your soul, sensing who you really are beyond the ideas of what you've been told you should be, but really at the depth of the depth of the depth. Who are you? And so discovering that, sometimes we discover it's just like an energy. It's just an energy. Sometimes we actually get a vision of almost like an archetype, almost like an archetypal energy and vision and a way of expressing. I know when I first made contact with my own iconic essence, I really felt like it appeared kind of like a unicorn. It was like, it was woman, female, male too, in a way, kind of shape-shifting. But there was some aspect, the archetypal energy felt a bit like a unicorn, but then it kind of shape-shifted into a rainbow bird, kind of shape-shifted into a rainbow dragon. So there is a poetic aspect. And I wanted to mention that because what I would love for you, my wish and my prayer for you, is for you to make a connection, for you to get insights and visions of what matters to you, who you are and your thriving path, and that's what we're here for. But then also to not have a pressure that you need to make logical sense of the visions that come through. Allow yourself first to receive. And what we're going to be doing after the Global Vision Quest is we're going to have an integration day on the Monday after, where I'm going to help you to decode the visions that come through. To actually be like, well, what did it mean when I saw a pearl? What does it mean if I see this unicorn? What does that mean? And sometimes we can almost pull ourselves out of the visioning because we're like, well, wait a second, do I need to make sense logically and turn it into my business plan? And of course, these things absolutely can. I have used Vision Quest to get business plans and all that kind of thing. But I want you to first receive it in the way that it appears, and you will have a chance to decode and kind of make sense of it. So I would love to hear, and you can share this in the comments or you can take notes for yourself, what has come up so far? Like what is happening for you so far in your Vision Quest? That first day we did that guided visualization to discover your iconic essence. Has it been sinking in? Have you been having dreams? Have you noticed something? You're like, wait a second, that's a clue. Anything that's coming up, I would love to hear. So you can share that in the comments. And then also on day 2, yesterday, of the Global Vision Quest, we had those 2 panel discussions. Those were incredible. That was absolutely incredible. I was so invigorated and enlivened by those conversations. The first one, we were exploring claiming the power of your iconic essence. And then the second one was iconic essence in action. And if you were watching those, then you would see just how unique everybody is. And, we all have our journey. We all have our challenges. We all have our struggles. We all have our magic. We all have our special gifts, right? And the iconic essence is something that when we do connect with it, it activates a path. And we're going to be working on that today, illuminating your thriving path. It activates a path, but it also can start to reveal where we are out of alignment. And then it kind of puts us in motion for that healing process, and that whether it's cleansing or strengthening or clearing or decluttering, or, sometimes there's a death cycle that actually gets put in motion because we realize something needs to complete in order to really allow that path, that thriving path, to have the breathing room to take shape. So just noticing for yourself the things that have come up. If there are any insights you want to share, I'd love to hear. There was one thing that came through for me yesterday. Sierra was talking about in the second panel Sierra Sullivan, she mentioned this thing of she had in her journey, like a big significant moment of her putting her iconic essence in action and kind of where she is in her journey was this shift between kind of like going for the light, like going for kind of being in the spotlight or kind of, I guess, sort of chasing the light. But the shift was realizing, be the light. Be the light rather than kind of seek the light, be the light. And that the way that she described it, I love that. And so sometimes we hear from someone else something and it lands in us. Sometimes we get it direct ourselves. Receive it as it comes, right? Get good at receiving. Get good at receiving. When you're really good at receiving, you will be a great giver. Because when you truly receive, you fill up. You fill up. You get that taste of your own satiation, your own sense of abundance. And in that, a generosity naturally happens. And that's when someone's ready to kind of share their gifts in the world, when they have filled up with their gifts. They're like literally brimming with it. It's like seeping out of the pores. Right? So we want to fill up and saturate ourselves with the light of our soul. So I'm going to share, I want to read a couple of things coming through. Krista says, day 1, I was in a ruby cave dance party. Wow. Like a Matrix movie, but a red crystal cave. I had always looked great in red, but I need more rubies and red crystals in my life. Very cool. Wow. Yeah, and so, as I'm hearing that, and I'm not sure, what the crystal and the ruby and the cave and the Matrix movie and all those things mean for you. But when I hear that, it starts giving me clues. Okay, it's like red is clearly like a power color for you, right? That's one thing that comes up. So you start getting these little clues in a vision that is beautiful and poetic and all these things. And then, as we do get into the decoding with the integration, you start to see how it's giving you information for your life as well. Very cool. All right. Fabienne says, a death process is almost needed to get your iconic essence in action. Yes. And that came up in the conversation yesterday, and I've certainly felt that. And I feel like every time I am, I know I'm being called to the next level. And that feeling, right? Like, it's like there's just, there's something that is calling you forward. You might not have it named yet, but it's calling you forward. There is a death cycle. There is a death cycle because something has to complete to allow for that new life to grow. And that's not a bad thing. It's not like you have to die physically. Just when we look in nature, the death cycle is happening all around at the same time that the life cycle is happening, right? Like a tree might have fallen over, or one plant may have died, or sometimes you find a dead animal even. I found lots of bones when I've been on my hikes. The death cycle and the fungus that's out there because something else has died and the fungus takes over. It's all interconnected. So the death cycle isn't something that we have to feel like, oh, it's a failure if we reach that. It's part of a cycle of, there's a rebirth and a regrowth. And so in my experience, when I'm called to the next level, I do go through a bit of a death process. And it can look different for all of us. Sometimes it can be very internal. I tend to go a little more internal, a little more like, because I'm going in. But for some people, it looks the way it looks. Yeah. But it's something to, trust the process when that happens and understand that it's perfectly natural and it is okay. And it is in sync with the greater unfolding. All right. Laura says, hey, Laura. In the vision, I saw kind of a radiant, shining version of myself with the words Bohemian Princess. Also, that true connections were what make me happy, even beyond being an artist. Other words, at the origin of my soul, authenticity. It heals. The gift of my vision was kind of a big shell. And my gift to it was like love and light. Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Something that this is just like a little clue that I'll just kind of drop in there, and we can go more into it in the integration. But I didn't logically plan this, it's sort of just something that came through. But our soul, in that first visualization, our soul, we received something and then we gave something. And it's interesting to notice what we gave, because I think there's a clue in there about what we are actually here to, give into the world. And so when I was reflecting on what I gave in that, I'll save it for, we can go more into it, but it's just interesting. We have to receive to kind of fill up. And then when we do, there's something that comes out of us. And in the context of this earth world, what do we put out in the world? What do we circulate into the world? It's just something to just ponder there. Sasha says, I didn't see anything in the mirror, nor got a gift, like there was a block. How do you recommend to work with it? Oh, thank you for asking that. Yeah, it's funny. In the visualization, I did not see anything in the reflective surface while it was happening. I was looking for reflective surfaces in my zone. And in that moment, there wasn't one exactly, and I just flowed with it. Again, it's like trusting your own process. It's going to give you what you need to get what you need for your progress of this process. So that would be the first thing that I would say. But what was so interesting, right after we completed, I held up this, I'll just say this. I held up this journal. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a reflection on this. I picked it up. And if you see what is behind me, this, how can you not, right? There's like this massive like explosion of color. I picked it up, and there's like an interesting, like the shape was almost like seeing myself in water. And because I had it slightly folded, what was behind me, my face ended up in this, it looked like a rainbow feather with the background. And I just started to cry. Maybe it's waited till after just so I could, just sort of just cry it out, because that was my moment to see that. And so just saying that you may get a surprise of when one of those things, the question mark is still there, like, what is the reflection? What does that look like? You've planted the seed and put something forward. It may come in a surprising moment like it did for me. So I'll just say that. The other thing too, when we go into these, we are all very unique, and some of us immediately can go into a vision and kind of like almost like astral body travel to like realms. And that's someone's gift if they can do that. That's something that some people have. Other people are like, wow, I don't really see anything, but like I feel stuff. I feel things. I feel a heat, or I even see like maybe like a shape of color or something, or I have a sense or a memory of something. Notice what does come and alleviate the pressure that there's some right way to do it. And that if it doesn't sound like what it should be, then somehow you did it wrong. Like just let go of that. And so my invitation would be to be like, well, what did come? And sometimes what comes is almost like a self-judgment sense of like, God, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Did I do it right? Am I enough? Am I ever going to make it? Like, it can start to like a whole train of things can come. And if that does happen, receive that as the reflection of like, it's giving you the sight to see your thinking process. And that is very valuable, even if it feels like it's a block. You are getting clarity. You are getting clarity on how you experience life. And that is really the lens in which we see the world. And when we have different beliefs that are there, sometimes we just want to like get rid of it and like, let's just have the light-filled vision and let's let it all be beautiful. But sometimes it doesn't come that way. sometimes it comes in like a judgment, a sense of like, gosh, am I like terrible? Did I do it wrong? And oh my God, I'm never going to make it. And who cares? And just move on. Whatever. That can be a reflection, right? And so allow yourself to trust yourself in your process, that the things that do come up are for you in whatever way. And again, it may not make sense in that moment. That's why we have an integration. We can go even more into this, into the integration. And today you have another chance to try the visualization and see what comes up. But if it felt like a block, let that be the reflection and see what you can see in it. What is it? Is it a thinking pattern? What is the block? And let that give you a reflection. And the same with the gift. Sometimes we, like it can feel maybe like it's either happening very slowly or too fast. That in itself, maybe the gift is kind of like, oh, wow, I need space to receive. So let whatever has happened be what is an offering in itself. And see if you can receive that, whatever that was, right? Like receiving, sometimes we think we only want to receive the good stuff and what we think is the good stuff, right? But when we can receive our experience, we actually can deepen into our experience and start to let it unfold. Okay, so I'll go with that for now. And then, of course, my invitation for you, we're going into another visualization and just see where it takes you today. And then we're going to have this integration to really understand what has happened. Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure that there's others who also had a similar question or thought. Annette says, day one visualization, a glowing time keeping bell-shaped illuminated object was gifted to me in a sweet smelling lush forest. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Yeah, there's so much. This is wonderful. And, have these notes for yourself that, you're in your journey. And if you've ever gone on like a retreat and say you're somewhere for like 5 days or you're 3 days, we're in a 3-day journey. There's usually a mix in that time. Like when I've done different retreats, I've had moments where I'm like in a deep irritation. And then I've had moments where I'm in like an elation, because there is a full circulation. It's like our energy has to go through the whole channel of ourself. We are going through a full like circuit of energy. And so we go through some layers. There may be grief, there may be crying, there may be giggles, there may be joy. So all of it is valuable. All of it is valuable. Okay. And we're going to go for it again today. See what comes through today. And again, just trust yourself and let yourself receive what is there. Okay. So if you remember in the day one, I was sharing my own story of a 5-year vision quest that I did. And what kicked that off was I wanted to know how to follow my heart and make money. That's what I was like. I could not figure it out. It was like just such the unknown, the abyss. It was a question mark. It was like, I don't know how to do this. I need to get in. And I had, tried different, guidance counselors or whatever, things like basic things. And it's like, no one could give me the answer that is only mine to get. And so I knew I had to just go into a vision quest. I had to go on a spiritual journey to get my information from the source in which I wanted to listen to, right? I didn't want to listen to what everybody else thought I should do. I remember my parents were saying to me, oh, you can go and you could do this or you could do that. And I was like, yeah, but that's not it. That's not it. And I wanted to find what my path was, truly, that I could be all in 1,000% and give it all I've got and be that like athlete of my own soul living this life. I wanted to feel that passion, that ignited. And so I went on a quest to figure it out. And the idea of following my heart and making money, like I wanted to do something that felt like it was mine. And for me, I wanted to make money too, right? Like that, there was a practical aspect of my vision quest. And in the process of all of that, I learned a lot, of course, so much, endless, continue to all the time. But one of the things I want to share that's relevant for today and relevant for our visualization today about illuminating our thriving path, that if you want to follow your heart and make money, or you want to like do anything in this world, then there is an inner component and there is an outer component. In that process of me follow my heart and make money, that's what I wanted to do. I realized that I had to know my heart. If I'm going to follow my heart and make money, I had to actually know my heart. I had to know how love moved through me. And in the process of that, I started looking out at the world and I was looking at money and I was like, money is kind of like the blood of society, right? Like we're the only ones who work with money, to my knowledge. They don't have money. Squirrels don't have money. The trees don't have money. They use other things. They're in an ecosystem. They're in a different type of circulation, right? They're in a synergy. Humans in our society, as it is right now, we use money to circulate things. And so as I was getting deeper into starting to feel how my own heart moved and what I loved and how my love wanted to move in the world, I was looking at really the pulse of how do things move in this world, in this society. The money is like the blood of society. It's like this renewable resource. That's something that Ali Katz said yesterday, this idea of money as a renewable resource, and it is circulating through society, right? So what I want to do with that idea is I want to bring it into our visualization today, and we are going to be connecting with our heart. We're going to be connecting with how love moves in us, how we experience love. And we're going to be exploring where is love needed within our circulation, right? Now that's internal, first of all, but then it would be reflective externally too. We're going to be exploring that, okay? And seeing what clues that can give us for illuminating our thriving path. Because, if you imagine, if you've ever seen like a holy person type of thing, and imagining they're taking steps. They're taking steps, this holy person on this land, and they're taking steps. And as they're taking steps, because every step is so infused with love and their light, that under their feet, their footprints are like growing worlds, growing gardens with every step they're taking. And then like worlds are growing in these footprints because every step was taken with their love. Every step was taken with their soul moving through their body. Right? And just imagining that. So illuminating our thriving path, we need to know how our love, our light moves through us so that we, as we move through the world and we take steps, we are growing gardens of opportunity and possibility and thriving synergy experiences for our lives and also anyone who we touch as well. All right. So again, to get into this visualization, do you have the journal there so that when it's time you can take notes or you can sketch? You got your tools ready. If you want to have your markers or just anything that you got your tools. And then I invite you to just get comfortable. If you want to close your eyes, if you want to lie down, if you want to sit up and kind of just let yourself feel your posture, this is your time. Allow your body to be comfortable. And I'd like you to take a breath and just notice how you are breathing. You're breathing in, you're breathing out. You don't need to adjust your breath. Just notice and watch it and feel it and actually feel where it goes. When you breathe in, where does that breath go? And then when you breathe out, feel that sensation of that breath going out. And just allowing a few of those circuits of energy, that breath, to come into your own rhythm. Just to come into your own rhythm. You're inhaling, you're exhaling. You're letting life in, you're receiving, you're letting life exhale, putting out in the world. Breathing in, receiving. Breathing out, letting go. You can even think of it like the life cycle, death cycle. It's all interconnected. It's just one circuit. Breathing in, starting a life cycle. Breathing out, letting go, allowing a release. And again, right away, there's another breath. Life starts again. And just getting into a rhythm with that. You're in a cycle, you're in a circuit. There's a circulation. And now I'd like you to see if you can actually feel your own pulse of your heart. You might want to put your hand on your heart, or if there's a spot you can actually feel the pulse of your heart pumping. And notice the pulse, the beat. This is your own beat that you're in, the rhythm that you're in. And once you've felt that pulse, just hold it with your own imagination. If you want to keep connecting so you can really physically feel it, you can do that. And then when you have a sense, you can just rest your hand. And I want you just to feel that beat of your heart. It's just like a beat, almost like a drum. And I invite you to let this drum beat, this heartbeat, call you into your own heart, your own heartland, as if it is an entire land, heartland. And with your imagination, if you can vision, if you can see, if you can sense, if you can feel, if you can hear, I want you to journey into your heart as if it is an actual land, a landscape, a world. Maybe there's nature there. Maybe there is architecture. It's an entire world. It's your heartland. This is your heart. And let yourself go right into your heart. And again, feeling that pulse, that beat. Maybe if there's water moving through this heartland, maybe it's kind of moving with this pulse. Or maybe there is like some kind of the mycelium network in the ground has a pulse to it. Just notice what this heartland, your heartland, is like. And let yourself explore it. Be curious about it. Look around, feel around, and sense it. And now I invite you to recall a time in your life where you felt love. Where you felt love. Maybe it was with a pet. Maybe it was with an intimate partner. Maybe it was with yourself. Maybe you had eye contact with yourself in the mirror and you felt the depth of yourself. Or maybe you were watching a movie and you just felt the complete fullness of love in the way someone looked at someone, or a dynamic, and it was just your heart just opened. And as you are recalling that experience of feeling love, maybe you were giving love, maybe you were receiving love, maybe you were just basking in love, maybe you were witnessing love. Ask your heartland to show you what that looks like and feels like when you are in love. Allow your heartland to give you a show of what happens in that landscape when love is being experienced or expressed. And notice how love moves through or ripples through this heartland, this world, this landscape of your heart. Now, one of the natural, innate jobs of the heart is to circulate energy, to circulate love. And I want you to see how your heartland sends out love through the realm of your entire body. How does it circulate? Maybe it sends out a message and that goes through all the blood and it goes around. Or maybe there's a flock of migrating birds that go out from this land and they go through and they migrate and they come back. Or maybe there's a school of fish that swim out on a migration path and come back. This is one of your natural, innate experiences that your heart circulates. It sends love out. There's a circulation pathway. And I'd like you to explore that and find that in your own body. How is your heart and your love able to circulate in your body? So go on a journey with it. Maybe you're following along in the bloodstream and see if it has a whole circuit that it can travel through. And explore what that is. What does it feel like? What's happening in that circulation, in that movement, that ability to move that love around? If you want, you can physically track that in your body. You want to imagine the love going through your arms, going through your organs, going through your legs, circulating through your feet, your skin, your neck, your face, your ears and your eyes, circulating through your teeth and your fingernails, and through your brain, through every neural network in your brain, your bones, your cells. Allow your imagination to take you on a journey to all the places that your love travels in your body. And now you're going to expand where your love can travel. And again, just taking note, even if there's a spot where it's not quite there, it's taking notice. It's okay. And just see how your love expands from you, from your body, into the world, into the relationships that you have, into the environment that you live in and that you spend time in. And just notice how your love moves out into the world. And just like any circulation, there is a circuit that comes back. And so just bringing that energy back to the heartland, coming back. It's on a circuit, coming back into yourself. And just having a rest when you come back into your heartland. Went on a bit of a journey, traveling through the realm. And you're going to go on a circulation journey again. But this time, now that you've gathered a little bit of information about some places that maybe need some love, you're going to fuel up with some more love. So the next circuit is going to be filled and is going to be able to get into some of the deeper crevices. And so filling up with love in your heartland, you're going to open your own heart to sense how do you nurture and nourish and replenish your own love, your own light, your own sense of that fullness of who you are. And if you don't know, that's okay. Ask your heartland to present to you something that helps you to remember how you love and how you grow your love and how you nurture your heart. Maybe there's a spark from your soul that starts twinkling through that realm, just letting that love start to fill up, getting ready for that next circulation, that next trip you're going to take through the body and beyond. So in whatever way makes sense, and it doesn't need to make logical sense, you're going to fill up and you're going to feel like you got love that is ready to move through, that's ready to circulate through, filled up, nourished from the source. You've been resourced, you are resourced, and you're going to go on another adventure through your body, through the circulation channels. And again, you can literally go through the blood, the veins, the bones, the organs. Or maybe it is a little more poetic. Maybe there is a flock of birds that are on a migration route through the realm of your being. But you're going to allow that full circulation of love to go through all of you. And if you reach any spots that the love is just a little bunged up, a little stuck, you're going to offer it. You're going to offer it some love. You're going to offer it compassion. And compassion is love that doesn't have judgment. Compassion is love that is unconditional. It sees right through to the essence. It sees love. You can offer compassion, which is a certain blend of love, to any spot on that circulation pathway that may need it. If there are any blocks or any boulders in the way, you can offer it compassion. There's no judgment on it. You haven't done anything wrong. You're not a bad person. Allowing love to seep into any crevices where it is needed within your body, your whole body. Really let yourself let that in. And if that love feels like it starts to get a little thin or dim, just hear that beat. It is there. It is there for you. Hear that beat. Hear that pulse. Feel yourself being resourced. And stay with it. And as you're going through that circulation pathway, just notice how that love wants to expand beyond you in the relationships that you're in your life, in the environment that you're in the ways that you are in the world, and the ways you want to be in the world. How does your love want to move through you? Offering it compassion where it needs it. Offering that unique blend of love that has compassion and sees right through to your essence. And just noticing how your love wants to move through you and move through the world from you. And again, that circulation, it comes back to you, back to your heartland, being resourced, coming back, coming back. And now there's one more adventure that you're going to go on with your heart right now. Coming back to your heartland, and again, just looking around this beautiful realm that is your heart, the realm where your love can grow and flourish. And now this time, as your body is filled with love in as many crevices as is possible, with compassion streaming through the veins, I want you to imagine yourself, your body, actually taking steps in this world that are fueled with love. You're following your heart. You are your heart. You are love. And you're taking steps. And as you're taking steps, in those footprints of your steps, there are worlds growing. There are gardens growing. There are opportunities growing in the steps that you take when you are sourced with that love of your self, of your soul. And I want you to notice, what kind of a path are you carving as you move with love, as you move in sync with the things that light you up? kind of path are you carving? And just listening for that and noticing that. And again, if it's coming through in a poetic way or if it's coming through as a literal download of a business plan, by all means, receive. If it's coming through as garden and plants and seeds or however it is, you just receive. And bringing your attention back to the beat of your heart, as if your steps were in sync with that pulse and that beat, and feeling that pulse and that beat, and actually feeling it literally in your heart, that your heart is a guide. You've got a rhythm, you've got a pulse, you've got the resources. And I want you to sense and feel, what are the steps that are yours to take? What are the steps that are fueled with your love, your light, your soul, your gifts, your magic, your compassion, your inspiration? And taking a moment, again, you've got sense of your heart, your pulse, you're coming back to your body. And you can write down and make some notes for yourself. Anything you saw from your heartland, anything you saw on that pathway, any places within you that need your compassion, that need your love. And also any clues that you're seeing, sensing, receiving about your path, what it is when you are in sync with your own beat, when you are following your heart. What is that path? And just writing down any clues. And you can share as well in the comments if you want to just kind of get it out, like let it land, let it come through. Illuminating your thriving path is knowing what it feels like to move in a way, have a path to move in a way that is actually fueled and resourced from the depth of yourself. It is something you have the fuel for. When we try to go on a path and do something because we think, oh, I should do this because it should equal this, and it's sort of like an externalized idea of living. But when we have connection and we can feel what lights us up and start to exercise its ability to circulate and move through us, and then start to feel how does that move and circulate in this world, we start to carve our own path. And your own path is your thriving path. Your own path is your thriving path. And whatever blocks or challenges that are along the way, they are just things that are calling for your love, your expansion, your capacity to show up for whatever that particular thing is, to grow into the person that you're here to be. So if there were any blocks along that pathway in the circulation, each one of those is a portal and a doorway into opening ever deeper, illuminating even more into yourself and into what is your journey in this life. You know, I often imagine if each of us claims the power of our iconic essence and gets resourced with that and starts to move with that, imagine what this world would look like. I think that's each of our sacred gift for ourselves, and also our gift to the world, is to be the person you came here to be. So just allowing this to to be with you. And if you're lying down or you want to just write and journal and sketch and all of that, be with it. Be with it. And something that I will add in that about kind of wondering, like, did I do it right? Am I doing it right? Just let yourself feel. And in the feeling of it, it takes you into what is yours to experience. And no two people's visualizations will look or be the same. And it's the opportunity to just trust your own sense and imagination and let it start to give to you. So I'd love to hear just any, like, even a word or a phrase or something of just what that experience was for you. You can share it in the comments. For me, I felt like I was going on a journey there. Well, we're on a vision quest, going on a journey. And I felt like I could go into the mythology of my inner world, where it's like my first language. My soul language speaks very poetically, very creatively. And in some way, it makes sense to me, even though if I try to explain it to someone else, maybe it doesn't, but it does to me. And I feel it. I feel the magic. I feel like, oh, that's me. Ellie says, thank you for that beautiful vision, Laura. All of us living in our iconic essence. Yeah, it's a magical thing to imagine. It's like full spectrum of energetic colors and power. My essence is enormous, and I'm here to allow it to have its roots and wings. All right, beautiful. So claiming that, right? Claiming what that is, and then any clue from today in terms of that illuminated thriving path, the claiming may be the first piece, right? That may be to illuminate your thriving path is the step of claiming, or the step of like acknowledging, having, receiving that, right? So see if you can feel what is it illuminating for you for your thriving path? What is it illuminating that it's like, oh, yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, maybe I don't have 20 steps down yet, but I have this step, right? Just think of that person walking. They're walking with the beat of their heart. They're moving in sync with their soul. And they got that next step. And a whole world grows from that step. A whole garden grows from that step. All right. Stacy says, nourishing, lightness, not heavy, and brightness. Beautiful, beautiful. Krista says, my heart space was a place I visited in a dream. The most beautiful rainforest cave. Wow. When we increased the love, more animals came and they were acting in playful, fun ways. Right. And actually that right there is a beautiful clue, right? It's like as we get more and more resourced, right? And resourced is like, yes, love is an aspect of being resourced. Connecting with our soul is an aspect of being resourced. Feeling what is in sync and true and authentic to us, that's a way of being resourced. And as we do that, we do increase, we increase the power of that energetics, the synergy, the love, the light, the wisdom, the compassion, the depth, it increases. And so fascinating to hear how like more animals came and they were acting in playful ways. It's like, as we get more and more resourced, things, they enliven. That's your thriving path. That's your thriving path. Things are enlivening. And so receive it on the poetic level as it comes through in the vision now. And then what we are going to be doing in our integration is really learning how to decode what comes through in these magical experiences, to start to translate that from almost like magic to human, like soul to human, magic, like how to translate, how to be a decoder, a translator, a bridge of those things. You get a vision that could be like a dream, and then how does that dream turn into something that makes sense in your practical life, in your human life? So right now, let the visions be as magical, poetic, and expansive as possible, and we will do an integration to bring those pieces together. Tabitha says, I was on a journey floating down a river with creatures all around. I had some rocks that stopped me for a moment, but once I put love into it, it became a fun, joyful ride. Yeah, it's like, if you've ever been whitewater rafting, and in the rapids, there are rocks, right? And when you kind of learn how to move, or you're in the kayak and you learned how to move around it, it's like that's people like go to those spots to kind of get that ride, right? So like having a rock on the path doesn't mean a stop sign. It might mean there's a navigation, or there's like, love can reveal something in that. But the journey can continue. All right. Amelia says, my heart is such a tender space, such a soft place to land. I saw a great rose with all my parts and all my loved ones tucked sweetly amongst the petals. Wow. That is really beautiful. Something that just comes to mind right away when I hear that, Amelia, in terms of illuminating your thriving path, I almost wonder if some form of honoring all the people that you love is a step in the process somehow. So that's just something that comes up. Claire says, love was a sparkly energy, fizzy and magical, path to love and be loved. More love, more love, more love. More love equals more money. Right, yes. This is one of the pieces that in my 5-year vision quest of following my heart to make money, there was a lot I had to clean up to let my essence and my love move, first of all, through me, but then to also move through out into the world. And then that does connect with money. It does connect with money, because when we're circulating our, like the magic we're here to bring, and we do have to fill up ourselves first. We have something to circulate the world, right? Like we don't want to sort of put something out, but we ourselves have to fill up, right? And when we do, and that we fill up and we do the healing and we, clear things, and we have a death cycle on one aspect, and then there's a birth cycle and all these things, and that love can move through us, and it can move through us with other people. And if you do choose to make that a business of your gifts, absolutely, it can equal more money. Absolutely. Evelyn says, I had this light illuminating inside and outside, was all about light. This really connected to my journey, union of the spirit and earth, where I take a picture of me and create a light codes language. My iconic essence is all about pure light, gold light. Beautiful. All right. So what we're going to do to complete this for now, I invite you to, of course, do sketches, make notes, like receive it while it's fresh, take it in. If it still feels like you're wanting to bathe in the vision and spend time with it, by all means do that. Connect it with your body, feel the pulse. So it's like the vision is in you. The vision is in you. It's coming through you. So there is an embodiment aspect to it. And just letting it be with you. And just like I shared earlier, where the reflection from the first visualization came to me actually right after we finished. I was looking at this surface, and I got my reflection in that moment. So stay with it as you need to. If things are still coming in your dream space, or throughout this day, throughout this weekend, throughout the coming days, let it keep coming in. Okay. And I invite you to join the integration that we have on Monday. That's included with this, that it's there. So it's Monday at the same time. It'll be live 1 p.m. Eastern. And I will guide you through how to kind of make sense of the things that came through in a practical way, if that's something that you would like. Also, during that Global Vision Quest integration, I am going to be making a very special announcement that is something that is time sensitive. And it has something to do with the iconic essence. And yeah, it's a very special announcement. So if you're feeling this, you've been enlivened by these things and it's like opened a door and it's like calling you deeper, I am going to be sharing something that is super exciting around really going further and deeper with your iconic essence. And if it is something that you dream of, really turning your sacred gifts, cultivating them and turning them into your what you do in the world, your career, your legacy, your legend, and really realizing the full potential of your soul's essence expressed and embodied on earth. I'm going to be sharing some more details about that on Monday in our integration with the special announcement. So for this vision quest, I hope that you have received sparks and clues and openings and awakenings and realizations and illuminations and just basking in the light and the love of your soul, and possibly even revealing places that need your love and your compassion, maybe aspects that are ready to be on a death cycle to enable a life rebirth cycle. Whatever has come up for you, I want you to receive, receive, receive. Okay? Again, we will land all the pieces during the integration and go back with your intention and tie those pieces up. For now, it's just get the muscle of receiving. Let it in. Let it in. When you let it in, then you're able to put things out. But first, let it in. All right. So I want to thank you so much for journeying with me. The journey continues, but the vision quest aspect of the guided visualizations for this journey and the panels, we have gone through that aspect. Those replays are available. They will be available for a little while. So check them out, go through that. And I just want to thank you so much and honor you for the courage to deep dive like this and to journey with me. Thank you so much. I am sending you so much love from my heart to yours.